guys, I bought myself something for Black Friday. I actually bought a couple of things, but there's one major big purchase that I bought myself for Black Friday, and she's here. Guys, it got to me so fast. It is the Kindle Colorsoft. I have wanted this since it was announced, but I very closely followed the reviews and like the yellow bars that were happening at the bottom of the screen and blah, blah, blah. And so I waited and I waited and I waited. And I also always buy Kindle products either on Prime Day or on Black Friday. And Black Friday sales have already started, if you didn't know. This is normally $279. I would never. I am a teacher balling on a budget. However, Black Friday, this came down $80. And then with my trade-in that I'm thinking about doing with my Paperwhite, that knocked it down another $30. So honestly, I'm paying less for this than I paid for my Paperwhite that I also got on sale. So now is the time to do it. I'm considering this my Christmas present to myself and my you really deserve a treat, because I have had one of the hardest years teaching that I have ever had in my life. This week in particular, I'm not even going to get into details, but it was a very hard week. I came home crying a lot for a lot of different reasons. But we're going to open this bad boy up. It's supposed to already be set up with my information. That was an option at checkout. And I don't have many accessories for it yet. Those are coming later in the week. So we're going to turn this into a vlog. We're going to finish a book on it. And I'm just going to kind of tell you my thoughts. I am not a tech spec type of channel. I don't know anything. I just know I want to see color and I want the pages to turn faster than they're currently turning on my Paperwhites. We'll do a little comparison, but let's open her up. Okay, that was ridiculously easy to set up. I just had to go to the Kindle app on my phone and there was something to toggle on. It connected to my Wi-Fi. It downloaded all of my books in like 30 seconds. So I did change the settings to Vivid. I will do an up close, more personal zoom in a second. But all my books are in color. And I have a cat behind me. Welcome to my life. I'm also battling the ring light right now because it is a dark, gloomy day. But look, guys, I'm currently reading Hopeless by Elsie Silver. And if I turn the screen off, we're gonna see her. Look at her. Oh my gosh. I can already tell that this is bigger than my Paperwhite. They're the same size while in the case, but once I put a case on this, it's gonna feel bigger. I have teeny tiny hands, and so I am noticing I'm having to like stretch my hands to hold it, but maybe I'll get a pop socket or a strap or something. Sorry, we're definitely fighting the glare and the cat. This is definitely more of a vlog style video than a sit down video, so we just have to take things as they come, right? What are you doing? You were so attention hungry. Okay, well, my first impressions is yay color. Yay, that was easy to set up. Let's put the case and my desk plug cover on her. It is charged to 50% right now. And let's like get into reading because I know I can highlight in color. And guys, it's the little things. It's the fact that I saved $110 on this device. It's the fact that I get to decorate a new Kindle, and it's the fact that I can see things in color. I have a very small library. These two bookshelves, these are it, because I live in a very small space. And so one of my goals for 2025 was to read more on my Kindle so that I'm not constantly buying books, and that did not go very well. So we're gonna try again in 2026, and this device hopefully will help. But yes, oh, that's holographic. Or is it just the light reflecting? That's really cool looking. Anyway, let's put the case on her and let's get to reading today. Just keep saying, oh, you're vlogging? Let me in. She literally won't leave me alone today. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love my cat. But we are not just talking about the Kindle Colorsoft. We are experiencing it. So I am about to sit down and hopefully read a ton of Hopeless, which is the 5th book in Chestnut Springs. I read the 4th book, Reckless, off camera because I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot. and I just could not read on camera. But that ended up being my second favorite of Chestnut Springs so far, following Winter and Theo and an accidental pregnancy. And I don't know, just like it really worked for me, which is so funny because I don't like pregnancy in my books because that's not something I ever want to experience. And yet I loved it. So now we are making our way to the fifth book because really at this time in my life, I just need happy, feel-good things. And Chestnut Springs, while it does cover some deeper topics, is a happy, feel-good thing. So this book is following Bo, who is a little bit different than his brothers, Rhett and Cade, because they both want the ranch life, the rodeo life, the cowboy life, and Bo has just gotten back from being deployed, and he had a very traumatic experience. He got very injured while he was deployed, and he is dealing with some severe PTSD. Every day in town, he doesn't really know what his purpose is. He agrees to help his brothers on the ranch, but he hates it and finds any excuse he can to not do the ranch work. And so he ends up just like traversing into the bar every day and grabbing a drink, and of course this leads to him drinking too much because he does not know how to cope with his emotions. Bailey is the bartender, and Bailey is the daughter in a family that the town just does not like. They are alcoholics, they do drugs, they cause trouble, they get arrested, and they're just like the town menaces. They share property line with the Eatons actually, so they have like even more reason to dislike each other because stuff is always going on between the two properties. But I digress. Bailey is very young. Kate is 35, Bailey is 22, if I'm remembering correctly. And she just is trying to save money up by working at the bar to leave and make a new name for herself where her last name does not dictate people's opinions about her. She ends up making Bo tea every day. She's like, you don't need alcohol. Here's a different drink. You can come in here and I'll make it for you, and you can sit at the bar and you can people watch, but you are not having any more alcohol. And so he starts coming in every day to get his chamomile tea. Eventually he's like, Bailey, I have a proposition for you. Let's get fake engaged so that people think you're marrying into the Eaton family, and hopefully this will make life easier for you. You continue saving money to get the heck out of Dodge, and it's a win-win for both of us because my family will also get off my back. And so this is what they do, and obviously they fall for each other. The age gap here is very interesting for a variety of reasons. I won't get into it because I do have students who watch my channel and I don't want to talk too much about adult topics, but just know that their age gap, there's some things to be discussed there for sure. But consent is important, and that is handled very, very well in this book. I will say the setup of it is not my favorite. I tend to not believe fake dating because like it just seems very unrealistic to me that they could get so close while calling it fake. I don't know. That's just me personally. And so it's been a little bit more challenging to get behind the plot of this one, but the moments between Bo and Bailey are very good. He is very tortured poets department, and she is very like debut speak now. Maybe a little fearless, but she's young Taylor Swift era, and he is very tortured. I'm 47% of the way through. I'm planning on getting some highlighting in so we can test that feature out. But yeah, okay. We've got the Colorsoft, we've got Chestnut Springs. Two things I love. Let's lay down in my new Christmas bedding and read. It is now much later in the day. I just was on sprints with Lexi and Mel, and I have now reached 88% of Hopeless. And this is not my favorite book in the series, but I'm having a really good time reading it on the Colorsoft. And the reason why it's not my favorite, I'm about to get into a teeny tiny bit of spoiler tropiness / a little bit of adult conversation. But how do I word this? Our main character is very inexperienced when it comes to things, and I am getting icked out and cringed out at some of the scenes and some of the dialogue surrounding her inexperience. And I just think it does not need to be as big of a deal as it is to the guy. It's making me feel cringed out. But their romance is still like sweet at its heart. There have been some developments in the like fake engagement, fake fiance thing. And there have been some really good quotes, which I can show you because I have highlighted them in blue. And it like organizes them by the color of your highlight. So when I jump to reading like a big fantasy book with world building and other things I want to keep track of, I can view my highlights by their color, which I do think is a really cool feature. But like everything I have highlighted has been in blue, so they'll have a little blue tab next to them. So it's really going to be a game changer in being able to annotate on Kindle, which I'm excited about. Zelda has not wanted to leave me. She has been in my lap or at my feet this entire sprint, and I know it's because she wants her wet food that she gets for dinner every night. I have 12% left. I really am going to try and finish this before I go to sleep, and then tomorrow I should get my package that has my little inserts and my stickers in it, and we will decorate it together. Which everything except the Kindle itself I got for so cheap because of Black Friday, which I am thankful for because I started having car issues today, which if you know, 2 weeks ago I was also having car issues. I had to order and change a battery 2 weeks ago, and then today when I went to the grocery store, my brakes started grinding. I know that you're supposed to get your brakes looked at when they start squeaking. I never heard a squeak. It went straight to grinding. So that's really just like so much fun. I am going to go start a load of dishes and brush my teeth and get into bed for some more reading. This vlog is really, really fascinating. You're just hearing me talk about minor complaints I have about a book, minor complaints I have about my life, and how much I like my Colorsoft. So we're doing great over here, guys. We're doing great. We have to play pretend for a couple of things. Pretend that I'm not on day 5 and desperately need to wash my hair. It's the space buns, and also pretend like there's not a giant pile of Amazon boxes back there. I need my car to drive those down to where we drop boxes, but I can't drop boxes right now, and I may have taken advantage of buying Christmas gifts for family while things were on sale, and so now I have a big giant pile of Amazon boxes. But what we're here to talk about is I finished Hopeless, which means I finished Chestnut Springs. I cannot believe it. So I really like Elsie Silver. Let's get into this book and then the grand trajectory of Chestnut Springs and then the grand trajectory of all of the Elsie Silver books I've read, because I think that's a good path to follow, right? So this has not been my favorite book. I feel like it wrapped up really, really beautifully, and it had to do that because it was the end of this book, but also it was the end of this like family saga, and so everything just had to be kind of like left neatly in its place. But what really didn't work for me was just the fake engagement and the age gappedness that came along with our character being inexperienced, and just like little things in that relationship that gave me the ick. He was never bad to her. He never took advantage of her or anything. In fact, I would say he like the opposite of took advantage of her, whatever that might be. Like it was the opposite. Like proceeded with too much caution. I don't know if I'm making sense. If you've read this book, maybe you know what I'm talking about, or if you've read a book with an age gap and an inexperienced character, just the male main character being so reluctant to take a step forward. Like, all the signs are there, buddy. She has told you it's okay. You don't need to be like a savior. That's how it felt to me in some places. Yeah, I just like zoned out for a second. That was the main thing I didn't like. And then the third act conflict. Elsie Silver doesn't really do breakups as third act conflicts, but the third act conflict like came out of nowhere, and I didn't like it. What I do like about this book though is just seeing this family, this group of friends, because obviously like the characters who married into this family had to come from somewhere. So family, friends, like the way that they can rely and lean on each other and are there for each other, and not everybody, like not all 5 men are best friends and not all 5 women are best friends. They have like their confidant, their go-to person within the family, and seeing these friendships and relationships bloom and blossom is very sweet. Summer definitely became both a friend and like a mentor figure to Bailey in this book, and I really appreciated that, especially Bailey not really having any female friends or guidance in this town for her entire life. Seeing Summer, who also came in as an outsider, step up and kind of provide for Bailey was very sweet. So this is my lowest rated Chestnut Springs book, which I feel bad about. I know a lot of people really like it, but I gave it 3 stars, so like still really good. So let's talk about my ratings within the Chestnut Springs series. The first book, which is Summer and Rhett's book, Flawless, I gave 3.5 stars. I think Elsie Silver was really finding her footing in this world, and I thought Rhett was a little bit cringy, but overall I still had a really good time. That was a bull rider / gym trainer romance. And then The second book, Heartless, was my favorite. Easy 5 stars. That is Willa and Cade's book. Willa is a nanny. Cade is the oldest Eaton brother who manages the ranch. It is also a single dad romance. Willa is such a spitfire, and I loved her character. I love the way she related to everyone around her, and that is really what won me over in book 2. So 5 stars. Jasper and Sloane's book, I also was not the biggest fan of. It is a hockey / runaway bride romance / second chance romance / friends to lovers romance. There were a ton of tropes in there, and the thing that didn't work with me in Powerless was the switch we see in Jasper between who he is in real life, this quiet, sweet, calm, demure boy, and then the way a switch just flips when he and his girly pop are alone. I thought it was cringy, but I also gave that one 3.5 stars. Heartless, Reckless, Winter and Theo's book, I gave a 5-star to. I really liked it. And then this one I gave 3 stars to. Winter and Theo's book is a accidental pregnancy one night stand / bull rider / doctor romance. I don't know, like tropes and plot, like let's just mix them all together in a big bowl. So overall, I do really love and recommend Chestnut Springs, but that being said, the Rose Hill series is my favorite Elsie Silver series. There are 4 books in that one: Wild Love, Wild Eyes, Wild Side, and Wild Card. Like, truly asking me to pick between those books is hard. The only one I know is that Wild Side is my least favorite, and then the rest of them all tie for king of Rose Hill. So I love that series. They are all single dad / single parent romances in some way, shape, or form, but they are all very, very different. I think her writing just improved leaps and bounds for that series. They are interconnected, so like you will see familiar faces pop up in Rose Hill. Now I need to go back and read Gold Rush Ranch, which I know people complain about her writing a little bit in that one. Like, she was definitely just finding her footing and finding her plot lines and everything, but I kind of want to read the entire Elsie Silver cinematic universe at this point. And of course, she has a new book coming out in March, I believe. I'll put a picture of it right here. I'm very excited about that one too. It's like the Bluebird Lake series, and it's a reality TV show's book. Oh, I can't wait. I am waiting for my Kindle decor to get here so that we can accessorize. Am I having any buyer's remorse? Absolutely not, in the sense that I am loving my Kindle. I am loving seeing the highlights. Again, this book is kind of a muted cover, so it's hard to appreciate the color on this one, but I will scroll through my library later so you can see some of the other books and like what the covers would look like. The only reason I'm like, oh, I spent money on this is because my car is not giving me issues, but in the grand scheme of things, the expenses that I'm about to pay for my brakes greatly outweigh how much this cost. So that's buyer's remorse that like I can't really do anything about. Life be lifing really hard over here in Mississippi, but we keep on pressing on. So I will decorate my Kindle with you guys, and then we'll come back together and wrap this video up. But I finished Chestnut Springs. It feels really good to be finishing series as the year comes to a close.
It's the first step out of bed when the clouds start rolling in, when the flowers lose their heads. It's the lies that keep them smiling when I feel I'm slowly dying, like the world has just decided to stop its spinning. It goes round and round and round and round again. Life goes on and on, just light around the bend. There's a new sun rising, there's no use crying. Hope lies just beyond the horizon. Round and round and round and round again. So don't let them keep you down. I'm tired of all this trying. Feel that fire slowly dying, running down